your...
She's a 10 out of 10, but she has a higher body count than you.
Oh, I don't care.
Vibes. I knew you were going to say that.
You could have 1,000 bodies, I don't give a shit.
She's a 10 out of 10, but she has a higher body count than you.
Oh, I don't care.
Vibes. I knew you were going to say that.
You could have 1,000 bodies, I don't give a shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brother has got to be trolling us. I repeat, this brother has got to be trolling. Like, this has got to be a joke. Because if I heard this man correctly, and if y'all heard him the exact same way, please let me know. But he said that he does not care about a woman's body count. And I quote, "She can have 1,000 bodies and I don't give a shit." Huh? Now, of course, if you're looking for a quality mate or a quality young lady to spend the rest of your life with, of course, off the table. But hypothetically, even if you were just looking for somebody to hook up with, right? Where in that particular variable or factor, body count really ain't something you pressed about. But the fact that you're willing to overlook a chick that has 1,000 body counts. Now, maybe, just maybe, that was just a number he threw out there and he ain't really mean 1,000, but 1,000 was the number. But it's almost as if he says, I don't necessarily care what her body count is. I'm still getting that if she's a 10 out of 10. And it dawns on me how crazy some of these people is nowadays, man, and how reckless some of my brothers are out there living, right? I praise trolling, but if he's not, it's very telling about how reckless some people live in these streets. You feel me? Now, the truth of the matter is, if you think about it, if you ask a woman what her body count is, chances are she's not going to be honest with you. I think the rule of thumb for most guys is if they give you a number, multiply that by 3 or some shit like that. It might be a little bit more, multiply by 4 or 5. It depends on how you look at it, but usually that's a rule of thumb. If they give you a number, multiply it by a certain number, and that'll give you their close to true number, right? So in reality, it's like, when it comes to dealing with modern women and living in the West, it's very scary for a lot of people. And I think one of the top tier things that scare most men, outside of the fact that they really just don't want to deal with some of these young ladies sometimes, is the fact that you never know their body count. And it's not so much how many guys or even girls they may have slept with, but it's the fact that you don't know who they've been sleeping with. And I said this in a video before, and I say it often. Sometimes it's not so much the body count as it is who you choosing to sleep with. And we can't always expect people to make the best decisions in sexual partners, number one. Number two, we can't always expect people to protect themselves when dealing with certain sexual partners. So if somebody over here is screwing the entire city and then they fuck with you and give you something, and you fuck with me and you give me something, that bad juju. Correct me if I'm wrong. And when it comes to this modern lifestyle that a lot of women live, this young, wild, and free lifestyle wherein, having multiple sexual partners is somewhat normal, it blows everybody's mind, right? And it's mad different. And it's scary to even think that a brother would come out and openly say he doesn't really care necessarily about her body count. He's still going to go forward. He's still going to go at it, right? Knowing that these guys, probably however many guys it was before you or women, probably got that goods for free, and you're probably in a place in a space where you're gonna have to come out the pocket with the monies, right? In logical sense, it don't make sense, right? If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. You feel me? And when I think about it, like I said, I praise trolling, but likely he's not. And I think for the most part, where a lot of us really find comfort and solace when it comes to going abroad and dating abroad is in comparative numbers. In comparison, you are likely to deal with a young lady that has less of a body count in overseas countries than you are in the Western modern world. Now, let me say this. I'm not saying that girls in overseas countries aren't getting it in, right? I'm just saying you are more than likely to deal with a lady who has a far less body count than that in the West. Chances are, if you really talk to them and you really have conversations with them, you can tell them how active, how sexually active a lot of these girls are with just a general conversation. There are certain key questions that men can ask to kind of get an idea of where a woman's head is sexually or about how many sexual partners she's had. And usually when it comes to dealing with women abroad, most of them don't really lie about it. And even if they did, it's very hard for them to lie about it because it doesn't work. And they know that, you can't really finesse the finesses, you know? So when I look at it and I think about women abroad and stuff like that and all the situations that guys are finding themselves in when it comes to dealing with women abroad, yes. All right, let's say hypothetically you do get into a relationship with a young lady that has been with one guy, maybe two guys before you. Is that really the end of the world? Probably not. But then you have guys who date younger, 18, hopefully if they are touched is limited at best or not touched at all, right? And I think that really does have a appeal to a lot of gentlemen, mainly because you're not dealing with tainted goods. You have the ability to mold how you want it, and I can understand it from that perspective why a lot of guys choose to date younger women, right? But in the West, it's kind of like it don't matter what her age is, even though if you date young, people look at you like you're crazy. But I'm talking about 18, y'all. When I say young, let me make sure I clarify so y'all think I ain't out here talking about some nonsense and promoting some nonsense. But 18 years of age, right? Where the cutoff is, right? Even at 18, depending on who they was dealing with, where they went to school at, and what they did in their spare time, chances are they probably already are tainted goods by 18. And it really does throw a lot of guys off. So, you are less likely to deal with a woman that has a higher body count abroad than you are when dealing with women in the West. And that's really what's attractive about dealing with women abroad. And that's really why a lot of brothers are choosing to date abroad, outside of the other factors that we've already discussed in detail that we don't need to necessarily run down the list again, because definitely that is a laundry list. We don't have to go through it. But what I'm saying is this: for a brother to sit there and tell us that he don't care about a young lady body count and she could have been with 1,000 men prior to him and he don't care, that's tough. And you know what's scary? Outside of thinking of it from that perspective, there are a lot of guys in the world that will literally say, okay, you know what? I'm okay with that. Okay, so she's sexually active. It's cool. I'm sexually active. It's cool. We're just two sexually active people. And the fact that that's the way you look at it, and that's the reason you've deduced, and you find it to be okay that a young lady has found herself on her back with multiple I mean, for me, just creating the image in my mind, picturing it like that, when you hear it, that you've, with all due respect, laid down on your back, open your leg for a hypothetical 1,000 guys. Wow, that's tough, bro. You can never look at her the same, right? Like my man said, you can never look at these women the same. I can't imagine anybody or any man, for that fact, that could do that. That could literally sit there and look at her like anything other than, not using the negative words, but a promiscuous young lady, right? There's no other way that I could see that. Right? Maybe you guys see it different. If you see it different, that is what the comment section below is for. If you guys enjoyed the video, man, y'all make sure y'all share, like, comment, and subscribe. The Good Doc would highly appreciate that one. If y'all want to support in any capacity, please feel free to do so. There's a thank you button right there. You can drop a couple dollars on the Good Doc's books. Thank you. Description area below, Cash App, PayPal, if y'all want to support the movement. Doc would highly appreciate that one. Y'all know what time it is, man. Time for the Good Doc to go and get the getting. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.